Converted Man here. When last we left our wonderful article, it had 33 logical fallacies, but thanks to the god of Pokemon, Arceus, whatever, I've been convinced to add +1 for a appeal to authority, since we're appealing to the authority of scriptures. And you know what? It's also circular reasoning, so there's another +1. And you know what? At this point, it's plus question mark, because people are pointing out to me that there are numerous historical wrongnesses in this article. Wrongnesses isn't a word, but it is now. The gospel doesn't make sense. God was mad at mankind because of sin, so he decided to torture and kill his own son so that he could appease his own psychological anger. God is the weirdo, not me. This is actually a really good argument against certain Protestant sects. I've used it myself on numerous occasions. But it has no traction with the Orthodox Christian faith. The Orthodox have no concept of a God who needed to appease in order to love his creation. The Father sacrificed his own Son in order to destroy death with his life, not to assuage his wrath, but to heal, not to protect mankind from his fury, but to unite mankind to his love. If the reader is interested to hear more on this topic, follow this link for further discussion. Alright, so we've got some special knowledge here as well as circular reasoning, because basically he's appealing to the doctrine of the Bible, which hasn't been proven to be the correct doctrine, and you'd have to have special knowledge to know that that doctrine is the correct doctrine. So the only way out of this particular argument is to be an Orthodox Christian. Otherwise, you're screwed, because you don't have a response to this straw man argument. And yeah, I'm going to add +1 for the argument itself, because it's a straw man. I mean, yeah, you could say people have said things kind of like this, but not this. And certainly I don't think somebody would add, God is the weirdo, not me. Why would I be having to say that I'm not a weirdo? Where would that be coming from? I just don't see that happening as an argument, and certainly not a top 10 argument at any rate. And as far as that link goes, yeah, I'm not going to click on it because I don't care, because he's already got enough logical fallacies for me to be skeptical of his conclusions, and I don't think that that link's going to make anything any better. But if anybody really wants me to, then perhaps you can convince me by visiting my homepage and sending me money through PayPal. Okay, I really feel like I just sold out by saying that, but I do need money. Moving on! History is full of mother-child messiah cults, trinity godheads, and the like. Thus, the Christian story is a myth like the rest. This argument seems insurmountable on the surface, but it's really a slow pitch across the plate, if you don't mind a baseball analogy. There is no arguing the fact that history is full of stories found in the Bible, and I won't take time to recount them here. But this fact should not be surprising in the least. Indeed, if history had no similar stories, it would be reason for concern. Anything beautiful always has replicas. A counterfeit coin does not prove the non-existence of the authentic coin, it proves the exact opposite. 1,000 U2 cover bands is not evidence that U2 is a myth. So we have two false analogies and a half-truth. The half-truth being that everything or anything beautiful always has replicas. So that's not always true. And then the false analogies are the counterfeit coin and the cover bands. Those are just really bad analogies to try to use for this thing. And really, I kind of hesitate to add another half-truth or an outright lie here on the idea that a counterfeit coin actually proves that a real coin exists, because like you could make a counterfeit coin and try to pass it off as if it was legal tender, even though it has no actual coin for real. Like you could convince somebody that it was real. But now I'm digging pretty deep like he is, so I'll just let that one slide. But basically, he's saying, well, just because they're similar stories, that doesn't disprove it. That's correct. That's not what the argument is saying, though. So your response is, well, that doesn't make it untrue. No. But it doesn't show that it's true either, and it doesn't show that it's not a myth like the other myths. So what are you going to say to actually respond to the argument? But that doesn't address the fact that some of these stories were told before the biblical accounts. True. But imagine if the only story of a Masonic virgin birth, death, and resurrection were contained in the New Testament. To me, would be odd. It would be odd because if all people everywhere had God as their creator, yet the central event of human history, the game-changing event of all ages, the incarnation, death, and resurrection of Christ, had never occurred to them, at least in some hazy form, they would have been completely cut off from the prime mysteries of human existence. It seems only natural that if the advent of Christ was real, it would permeate through the consciousness of mankind on some level, regardless of their place in history. One should expect to find mankind replicating these stories found in their own visions and dreams again and again throughout history. And indeed, that is what we find. Sigh. So his argument... There's not enough quotes to put around argument. His response to the argument is to say that, well, of course, it's true. That's the fact that there are retellings of it all over the place prove that people have had dreams and visions, even though they've told them in completely different ways. See, that was a foreshadowing of what was to come. It's not like we copied it off of their ideas or anything, really. No. See, this makes it more true. But if this was the only story like this, then that would be really weird. That would be really odd. Personal incredulity. So yeah, it should be all over the place. Of course, that makes it more true than ever before. Blah. Are you kidding me? Really, that's your pathetic response. And it really is pathetic. If a story appears before a different story, it's likely that other story was based on the earlier story. And your response is to pretend like it's all real and to just say, well, these things, of course, they've been had in visions and dreams and other stuff. So special knowledge, appeal to personal incredulity, and really, I don't even know what the bleep to make of the rest of this paragraph here, but it doesn't address that this could be a myth just like the rest. In fact, you made it even more mythical by adding in, well, but if it was true, see, then we'd have all these other stories like it, which is a non sequitur. It just doesn't follow. Maybe it follows in this guy's mind, but it certainly doesn't follow in mine. The fact of the matter is that the cult-like ideas, the virgin birth idea, the Trinitary idea, all of that stuff came later. But first you had some guy who basically said that the world was going to end, and some people believed him. or later on, you had somebody write down that there was some guy that said that, and people believed them. I don't know at this point. What I do know is there's no way to differentiate this myth from all the other myths. And you could use this exact same idea on an earlier myth and say, of course, this will be, because this is gonna be repeated in the future. See, that's why there's so many stories like it later on. You see, the Epic of Gilgamesh has a flood story, and that's in the Bible, of course. We're telling, and other places too, of course, because it's so true that it's appeared in visions and dreams of other people, and that's why we keep retelling this story in different ways, in different formats. It doesn't really show you how it's not a myth at all. It just says, oh, well, yeah, of course, it's ingrained in your heart. Haven't we heard that enough? Or it's ingrained in your mind or whatever. But plus 4 logical fallacies. And that's it. That is it. Alright, well, wow, I am under time. I could maybe squeeze in another question here. Oh no, that's a lot of text coming up. There's no way. Oh no. No. There's no way I'm fitting that one into this video. So I guess I'll do 9 and 10 in the next video. And until then, just remember, if somebody has a story, and there's a lot of stories like it out there, that totally makes that story true. Because that's totally how it works now. And I'm totally being sarcastic. But I'm not being sarcastic when I say the whole thing about the money part that I said earlier that kind of made me feel a little bit bad for saying it. And now that I'm mentioning it again, I feel bad again. But what do you mean I'm out of time? You mean cut the video short? Stop mentioning money? Don't mention money anymore, director? Who doesn't exist? Alright, I won't do that. You know, somebody asked me to do something about Heather and a ghost hunt. Like, oh my god, what do you want? No. Like, now you got me saying like, that's like how I talk. What is wrong with you? Stop, you're ruining my video. Like, let me take over. Like, what's this about? Oh my god. Okay, since like the God of the Bible is evil. No, we're not doing that. Okay, and then like, whatever, shut up. But no, stop. I'll tie you down, like, for reals. Okay, and then, like, a God who allows so much suffering and death can be nothing but evil. Like, duh. That's why the goddess Venus is so better. No, stop. The goddess Venus is, like, amazing, because, like, she showers down love on us all with bright sprinkles.